everybody. This is Darwin Fortuna from Flow Design Architects, and I have here an amazing person that not many people know, but is the client, the person that I worked with along the way throughout the entire project. And we're gonna talk about this amazing project, and we have here Liz. So Liz, again, as I said, super amazing person, very organized. I don't think this project would have been possible without her. The project's located at 10 and a half Winter Street in Peabody, Massachusetts. Liz, tell me a little bit about you. Like, who are you? Where you come from?
Well, I am from here, from Peabody.
Hmm.
I work at Peabody Auto Collision, and I was part of this project. Yeah.
Yeah. So this project, I got a call. The call was that there was a previous designer working on the project, and that previous designer submitted drawings. They got approved by zoning, and there were some issues with the design that was approved. At that point, I connected with Rafi and you, and we begun the design process. You guys, like, how do you find this property? Like, do you know any of those ins and outs? Because this is a missing tooth, was a missing tooth within this Winter Street
hmm
in Peabody. This is a jewel. You would have never found a lot that was empty and ready for development like this. So, like, how that happened?
Well, he actually found the lot a while back, and he jumped at it right away, and we kept it for a while. We didn't. There was a few years that it was just vacant. We didn't do anything with the
Hmm.
property. We were just waiting for the right moment.
Okay. And things then came up. Like, for instance, did you always know that this was a flood zone?
I wasn't familiar. Like, I don't think he was familiar with the situation either. We were just learning as we went.
So a lot of things happened. One of them was it's in a flood zone. It needed to go before the board for both zoning and conservation. Um, and it needed to get that special approval. So when we came in, we basically already had a footprint that was designed and worked out with Chris Mello, the engineer here.
hmm
And we jumped in and we noticed that Rafi had a big vision for the project. He wanted it to be, he said, the nicest project in the entire neighborhood.
hmm
Go big, right? Um, and it looked challenging, and it was challenging because again the pandemic came right after that, and it put holes in it. How long has it been? I mean, I think it's been since 2020.
Yeah, it's been since 2020 with the pandemic and all the delays and everything. You couldn't find anything to build. We had to wait just for the windows themselves. It was about 25 weeks for the windows. It took forever. So,
Yeah. So a couple of lessons for everybody too, very quickly. So at the beginning, when you have to really find a great architect to work with. And I'm not trying to sell myself as an architect, but it's because whatever you submit to the board needs to be what you build. Because the design then changed, and he needed to go right back again so that they can give him the special approval. So I had to represent in conservation, and I think also in zoning, because the front stairs were not really
hmm
working. They weren't not allowing garages underneath, so we have parking at the front. So being able to like pin that down early on and do it correct is probably a big lesson that we all got from this.
hmm
Like get it the best you could possibly do. But relatively, like, you guys are new to this, right?
right, right.
Now you're pros. I would say you're pros at this point because you got it all at once. But now you probably would just spend more time on the design at the beginning
hmm
so that you don't have to
Go
go.
back so many
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Yep.
But so that's one of the lessons. So then going through conservation, getting the approval because of the flood zone, even though it doesn't look like we're gonna ever get any water here.
There hasn't been a flood here in so long.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So then there was a hard time getting that building permit, and we only got a foundation permit.
hmm
I remember I was going to the airport that day when we were like trying to work that out, and it was because this project also was taking a special attention in the city, like within the city, like everybody had the eyes on this property,
hmm
making sure everything was done by the book. And I heard things about, like, for instance, uh, I guess all the people might have wanted a lot, right? And there was probably competition on that end and some rivalry. But overall, the process was, to be honest, seamless in some extent. And I'll tell you why. You guys went on top of your game 24/7.
hmm
Because if you dropped the ball just for a second, this would have been 5 more years.
Right.
So anytime we needed something, you immediately provided it. Anytime you requested something, you would pop into my office and we just get it done. But what was the construction part like? Because I came here and I know a lot of it, but how was that like? Like, do you guys have a hard time getting GCs, getting framers, getting, how was all that stuff? Because you had never done it before like this.
It wasn't that hard trying to get people. He's very familiar. He has a lot of good connections, and people are always willing to,
Mm-hmm.
put in the work. The only thing that was a setback again was trying to get the materials for the construction.
Yeah, the windows. I heard there was a
The
problem with it.
the windows, a lot of the materials, everything, because it was during the pandemic when we started building everything, and it was almost impossible
Yeah,
getting these
yeah.
things.
It was super super difficult. So during the design, also I know I got a little bit of a two steps back, sometimes one step, two step forward, one step back, because the design that we initiated with wasn't what we wanted. None of us wanted. Actually, there was a pitched roof at some
Yeah.
point,
Yep.
and then there was a mansard roof,
Mhm.
and then we went all flat.
Right.
So, so on your end, what was the thinking? And I know you're speaking also for the team, the entire team, and you can't say all the details. Probably you don't even know them. But what was that process? Because we will get a new request almost every other day on how to refine this project, how to get it to the next level. So why was it? What, like, was that ambition from the beginning of making it the best one? Is that what it was?
It was part of it, yes, I would say so. We usually drive around where we know there's new constructions, and we try to grab ideas from what we see,
Mm-hmm.
and that way we can kind of make our own. And the whole peak roofing, we didn't really like it. We wanted to give it more of a modern feel,
Mm-hmm.
and all the houses around this area, this is the one.
Yeah. So they all have.
There's no denying, and
So
this is
this
the one.
was the marking that was a clean line,
Yeah.
flat roof was
Yes.
gonna give that. But yeah, so what about also the selection of materials? Like internally, you said that's not your expertise,
Right.
but he was just Rafi, like picking all this stuff and
Yeah,
working
he's
on.
really good when it comes to decorating and all the interior stuff. He's amazing, I would say. So,
For somebody, well, I guess somebody that runs a car body shop that knows
hmm
what sleek and beautiful things look like on the car industry, then I guess he's applying whatever he knows from the car industry into construction, which
no,
is
no,
something.
he carries that into his daily life. He's literally amazing. He's really good with combining colors and all of that, putting stuff together.
Yeah.
He's pretty great.
So going now back into this property, we have two families, right?
Hmm.
The ground floor was not allowed to be living space,
Right.
so we ended up lifting the floor so that water can go right through, and we ended up putting two parking spots in there.
Hmm.
We had to prove to them that that was okay to be able to do the two parking spots. Then there was a concern with the beams downstairs because there was a little deflection, and he went all out, immediately got steel all throughout with sides of the beam, and now this could be probably 2 stories more
Yeah.
without any problems because of that. So and then so from when you get into the driveway with the beautiful pavers, get into your parking spot, go upstairs, we get this wooden slat concept. Where did he get that? Where did you guys get that? It feels like I'm walking into a luxury condominium from like, and this is a rental,
Right.
right? This is a rental. Where did that come from?
It's just from experience. When you travel, when you see new things, you go stay at different places, you kind of grab ideas from everywhere you go, and you want to incorporate it in your own life and your own projects. And that's what's going to bring you something different that nobody's really seen before.
Yeah, so as soon as you walk in, this tile, marble tile,
Hmm.
you guys are gonna be seeing that as we speak. And you walk right up there, and you feel like, where's the elevator to my suite? That's really
Hmm.
all I'm looking for. But full disclosure, Flow Design really didn't do anything when it comes to the finishes. We basically provided a shell.
Hmm.
Really, here's the shell. Here's what it looks like, because we were more involved into the approval process and permitting process and making sure that those things were done, which worked out perfect because he likes the design
Hmm.
process also. So that worked out. It took a lot of my energy to be involved on okay, now windows need to be tempered and looking into all of these different things and communication within the department, because after all it's actually a combination between you and us, because we were the GC with you basically, right?
Hmm.
So the licensed contractors was Pro Design Architects, but you guys did most of the solving and all the work, actually all of that work. So then going back, so we have, it looks like when people look at it, think that there's a three family,
Right.
but the way the configuration worked out is that the second floor is one unit, right?
Yes.
How many bedrooms that one has?
That one has two bedrooms.
2 bedrooms and how many bathrooms?
Two bathrooms.
Beautiful, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And then the third and fourth floor
Hmm.
is another unit.
It's one unit,
Yes.
yes.
So how many bedrooms is this one? This is the one we are in right now.
This is the first floor, which has the one bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have upstairs has two
Two
bedrooms.
bedrooms. How many bathrooms in this second unit?
It's three bathrooms.
Three bathrooms. By the way, you guys will see these bathrooms. Again, nothing really was spared here. When you walk in, immediately see this beautiful tile, this beautiful touch, wooden slat, beautiful lights, pendant lights, the bathrooms materials. I mean, where are the ideas of this marble look, beautiful, clean, spotless? I mean, it makes me feel like Miami-ish. You know, it's like it
Yeah,
makes me feel like you just walk into the Crystal Hotel or so. I don't know. I'm just making up a name. You know, some hotels.
that's kind of where we get the ideas from, yes.
It was like luxury.
Everything luxury. We want to make people feel like whoever lives in the house, the tenants, we want to make them feel like they can stay here forever. We want to make them love where they live.
Mm. So to the point that they're like, I don't care about buying a property.
Right.
I live the life I want
The
in the
luxury.
neighborhood I want within the school district I want. So why ever move, right?
Right.
But also we have these beautiful decks at the outside,
Hmm.
which you can overlook all of the other buildings that aren't as nice as yours. So it feels really cool, probably, right?
Yeah,
So I guess you would want to live in a place like this, right?
exactly.
I guess that's also the point. So we have all of those spaces, and then we came up with the concept of having these Juliet type of balconies at the front,
Yes.
which overlooks into the city too. But all of this, process by process, part by part, at some point, I have to admit, I felt like you guys had an unlimited budget.
Unlimited. I wouldn't say unlimited budget. We were just trying to make it as best as possible.
Because it's like after we had finished the design scheme, another idea will come up. And now I get all the pieces because I don't know all your mindset, right? The process. But I will get a picture from a window of a car. And I'm like, probably they are driving around looking
Yeah.
at spaces because I would see the balcony and the clean line. And I'm like, huh. So, and then we would rework that. And all of that was additional services, which you all, I love you guys for that, pay. Always on time with your bills. So, but it felt like, well, you don't mind paying for all these additional services and exploring the design. Like, it felt like there was an unlimited budget, really.
Right, but there wasn't. There I don't think there's ever an unlimited budget. That's would be great, but obviously that's not the situation. We just wanted to build something that somebody would be very proud to live in. And as owners, we would love, we want to sell or be have somebody live in somewhere where they really enjoy as well.
Yeah, excellent. So that said, guys, we're gonna end it right here. You guys stay tuned on our Flow Design YouTube channel. Liz, thank you so much for being with us and sharing a little part of the story. Again, we are so blessed to be able to work with people like you on top of your game 24/7. That's how we are, kind of underdogs grinding every single day. And I think that says everything about our partnership working together, the projects that we've been creating, and there's so many more. Stay tuned for Brockton projects that we have, more projects in Peabody that we have. Again, we are leaving a legacy here.
Yep,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you for watching.